See, yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Sit back and take a listen, cause the teaching the course, they share a passion and a talent, a human resource. Say, yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Empowering ladies with a voice, and it's about to be fire. Did I forget to mention that they're both from GI? Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah.
Hey, cousin.
What is up, cousin?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man, the inboxes have been blowing up. They have something to discuss.
Yeah, so let me see who's all on. Let's give a minute for some folks to come on and we can impromptu chat. Let's see who's on.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, girl. You know I'll be the worst at the audio thing, honey.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, let's see. So, yeah, lots of questions. So, this is going to be an interesting topic. Let's wait for some people to join us here. Come on in. Welcome.
Some folks in on your page. I'm looking. I'm monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Drop say hey cousin in the chat if you can hear us. Say hey cousin.
Yeah, we need to hear you say hey cousin real quick so we know that you are with us.
Hey cousin. We're toggling back and forth between all three pages, so bear with us. But yeah,
getting our tech on.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I see about 14 folks came on in the room. Yeah, I see a few folks that have checked in with us. Okay.
Yeah. Hey Lynn. Hey cousin, literal cousin. Hey Camilla. Hey, thanks for joining us. All right.
So what brings us here today? What's up?
Man.
What's going on in your world?
Well, we've had thanks for joining us. Listeners reaching out to us about this recent article.
So
I'm hearing some back feed.
Yep, I got it. I took care of it.
Yep. Back feed, child. Okay, but yeah, we had some listeners reach out to us about an article that was released about a human resources executive out in New York. She was an executive for 1-800 accountants, and child, apparently, allegedly, she was underperforming. And they made the decision to separate after about 6 months of employment. And during her termination meeting, she was like, "Oh yeah, I got something for you," and she proceeded to delete 17,000 resumes and employee documents on her way out. And even then, after she left, she went to another location and logged back in and continued to wreak havoc, honey, on that particular company. So apparently, they said 2 years bringing this whole system. And, when it comes to like HRA systems, it's a whole process, right, of bringing that, to fruition. Like you have the project, and then you've got to evaluate, and you've got to take, all everybody's data and, switch it from one system to the other. Then you got to validate it. Those projects can take years to implement, right? And so they said what was a $300,000 investment they made in that system, and then she, on top of that, caused like $100,000 worth of damage, and on her way out. That's crazy.
Yeah. Listen, the word of the day for this disgruntled HR exec is savage. So for our listeners out there, I went ahead and posted the article where you can read it for yourself. It's a Black Enterprise article where this exec deleted the 1,700 resumes. So, okay, so this may not mean much to y'all, but as HR practitioners and professionals, this just, of course, piques our interest, myself and Missy's interest. But she's a savage, Look, as a
and not in a good way, man.
and not in a good way.
No, not at all.
I'm getting ready to call her out of her name, but I'm not going to do it. No, but so I have been in HR. You've been in HR. We both had a lengthy career thus far in HR. And so my first thoughts in reading this article, and I want all our listeners to go and read the article. If you didn't catch it in the chat, you can just Google Disgruntled HR Exec, and it's the first article that comes up with Black Enterprise. You don't even have to search deep or search long if this article is of interest of you. But yeah, so my question from an HR professional standpoint is that I think the organization handled her termination the wrong way, right? So in my profession, in my career, when I have terminated folks, and I've done quite a bit of that over the length of my career. I've done layoffs with severances, all of that. We have a process in place whereby we will do what we call a quick closure. So at the moment that we have told them, listen, your services are no longer needed today, their system access shuts down completely within minutes. We also get
it's like back in the day, same time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're putting that access, especially at this level, right? Because when you have executives, C-suite executive, higher level executives, they could do a lot of damage. They have a lot of access to higher levels of systems. They may have access to where the money resides, because at their level, they're granted by right. They have those levels of access and confidentiality and system access and things of the nature. So I fault the organization who fired her, because there's no way she should have been able to go back into the system and have that amount of control to just start deleting other folks' resumes.
Yeah, the article says during her termination meeting, people saw her because apparently she was let go remotely. They saw her hitting the delete button, delete.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Right. That's crazy. So that's my perspective on how they should have, they should have quick closed her before the conversation happened or during the conversation, where she would not have had that level of access. But I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, when you go into a separation, you always want to make sure you're keeping the company safe, and you're also keeping the employees safe. Typically, we will kind of assess the situation to, we might ask questions like, what's the likelihood? Apparently, they didn't think there was the likelihood was very large in her case, but clearly, they were wrong. Because she's already been tried and convicted at this point and awaiting trial. They said she's facing like up to 15 years.
Yeah. The caveat with this, ladies and gentlemen, those who are listening in, is this woman already had a record, okay? So she was a bad hire from the gate. Now, I don't know who did her background check or how far they went back on her background check. Because Melissa and I, we talked about this earlier, that sometimes organizations will only go back as far as 7 to 10 years. I know with the organization that I work with, we only go back 7 to 10 years, right? So anything beyond that 10 years, we may not capture, it may not come up in what we would call a normal background check. When I was HR manager for a police department, we dug deep. So we, because you're applying to be a police officer, so, or even if you were applying to be a 911 operator, we dug deep. So we went into your whole background. We knew what you did when you was 3. Okay. So there's different kinds of background checks, but for whatever reason, this particular background check, whatever that they took this particular HR executive through, it did not bring up the fact that she had a forgery case. She was convicted of forgery. And there was one other, and writing bad checks. So she
Which
was
you would think would be relevant working at 1-800-ACCOUNTANTS. You would think
right.
that would be relevant
Yeah.
information. But, there's reasons behind that. There's reasons we, typically don't go back any more than 7 to 10 years, because years ago, that was another piece, another component to use to discriminate against people. We do want
Mhm.
people to re-enter the workforce after they've served their time and be able to get a job and be treated fairly. And there have been many, many cases about companies who've had to pay restitution for holding convictions against applicants that were,
Mhm.
in essence, long, long ago. So the time does have some relevancy there. One would
Mhm.
think that after a matter of 7 to 10 years, you will have, paid, whatever restitution, maybe served your time, recovered from that. But in this instance, there was certainly something, within her character that, led her to complete this act. And then you also have, Nikki, like the confidentiality for the company, but there's also PII concerns related to the
Mhm.
confidentiality of the personal information for the employees, right? Access
Mhm.
to their addresses, their social security numbers, their birth dates, all this identifiable information that could lead to some sort of security breach for them personally, to be affected.
Mhm.
So there's restitution there for as well. I wonder, what type of data she deleted, because there's compliance stuff, like
Mhm.
they might have to go back, redo I-9s, like who knows, all that information that you're required to keep on file. And so
Right.
I can imagine it's going to be a lot of rework for whoever is going to replace her.
Yeah.
And
A
it's
lot
happened
of
to many
damage.
people. So I'm nosy, right? So I went over to LinkedIn to see like what she up to.
Oh, you done looked her up on
I
LinkedIn.
didn't look her up on
You're
LinkedIn.
a private investigator.
Child. So I didn't look, but it's all private now. So this happened years ago, it looks like, but she's already found new employment. So
Wow. So I wonder what's the ramifications when this comes out, because she's facing 15 years in prison,
mhm.
and she'll be sentenced on December 2nd. So we'll know. We're going to follow up on this case, just
Yeah.
because we're nosy and we want to know what happens to her.
I'm trying to find the empathy in my heart to be like, oh my gosh, like she was really going through, and she wasn't in her right mind, or she it wasn't really her, sis didn't mean it. She temporary insanity. I don't know. Like
No, child, she was being a hot mess.
I'm
Sister,
trying.
don't be a hot mess. Be gracious. We have to be gracious. We have to
Oh
take
my
things gracious.
goodness.
I mean, look, she had bad performance. She, she wasn't performing well. She has this history. She was just a bad hire, and very vindictive and petty. Very vindictive and petty. So,
Wow.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What would you like? What would you do if this was your like somebody that reported to you, and like how do you bounce back? I'm trying to think of like what I would do if this happened in my organization. After I went home and had like a bottle of wine, and then I had to come back the next day to clean up this mess.
Oh,
What
but
would
that's
I
all you
do?
can do is clean up the mess, and I think the organization did the right thing by prosecuting her,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that was very malicious, very petty. She was living in Pettyville because she was being terminated, and rightfully so, right? So if you are malicious to that intent or to that degree, and you would be willing to do something that was so malicious and couldn't take a termination graciously, look, I know it doesn't feel good at the moment. But they were right to prosecute her, to seek prosecution, and they were right to terminate her. They had
This
a
is
bad
definitely
hire.
going to set a precedent, right,
Mm,
for how these types of things happen in the future, because she's not the first. Maybe she's like one of the first to go this far, but these
mm,
types of things happen after someone is separated, and they do little petty things, and you have one person who might send a snarky email, or I remember one
mm-hmm,
time I I remember we had an employee. I wasn't a part of the separation, but he left the company and he updated his Slack that said something like, it was something very petty. It was very snarky towards his manager. And I'm just like, really? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone. There's nothing you can do now, but it's a lesson in like making sure you deactivate everything, making sure, you know, you need get security involved if you need to, making sure they don't have any access back into the building. And certainly, why does she still have access when she left off site? Like, where they do that at?
Yeah. So Don says, hi, Don. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Don says, did the organization not have this information backed up somewhere? So unfortunately, sometimes HR systems do not work that way. So all of the applicant material and things of by that nature are contained and housed. Maybe whoever the vendor was could have retrieved some information. So say, for example, if the vendor was Workday, they may have some method by which they back up data and things of that nature. But the article says that they were not able to retrieve. They lost a lot of information, 17,000 applicants, you know. So they didn't have it backed up in such a way that they could go back and retrieve all of those resumes, right? And so resumes are usually an upload, a temporary file. So those are easy to lose anyway. Now, the application material probably could have been backed up because you have to apply to a position. It's not just a matter of just uploading your resume these days. At least that's not how the system that I work with. You apply to the position, you put in your information, you put in data, and then you upload your resume. But yeah, unfortunately, the organization wasn't able to retrieve that info.
Sister, y'all have said I didn't do anything, so I'm going to delete everything I did.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see, my cousin Camilla says, you want me to send you this gold sweater? Listen, I knew the SG rolls were going to come from my sweater. Ma'am, you can't have my sweater, but I can tell you where to get it from. Yep. So, I don't know. I just, you know, my heart, I want to, but I can't find a reason or a way to.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's ugly.
So our HR counterpart, our HR girl in the struggle, Lynette Barnwell. Oh, let me bring her comment back up. She says that, Lynette Barnwell says, HR reps can be disgruntled, need to be treated with caution just as any other employee. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have access to a lot of information. So, we need to be taken through extra levels of scrutiny because we have access to so much info.
And typically know where the bodies are buried.
We know where the bodies are buried. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got an episode 3 coming up. This was just ad hoc. We just discussing some ish today, but we got an episode 3 coming up. What's episode 3 about, Melissa?
Get money.
Get money.
Bump ninja.
It's all about the Benjamin, baby. Yes.
Securing your bag, sis.
Securing your bag, sis. Listen, above all, we are women. We are unapologetically Black. We are unapologetically women. So this episode that's airing on this Thursday, you see the banner that's coming across, is Secure Your Bag, Get Money, sis. You can look for our episode 3 on our website, nikkiandmissy.com. It's all about securing your bag. When we say secure your bag, there's levels to this, right? So there's levels to getting your money. There's investing. There is,
entrepreneurship.
And then we're going to take it to the level where we're going to tell you how to negotiate your salary, how to get money, because you got to know your value. You got to know your worth. And when you know your worth and you know your value, that means your bag gets bigger. So we want to make sure all our sisters and our brothers too, we want to show you how to secure your bag too. We want to make sure that you get money. It's 2021. Ain't no more living paycheck to paycheck. We finna get this money, okay?
We ain't leaving nothing on the table.
We ain't leaving no money on the table. We taking it all. We want our 40 acres in our mule. Even if we got to go punch a clock 9 to 5 to get our 40 acres in a mule, we want our money. We want to secure our bag. So we're going to share with you how to secure your bag on this Thursday, August 26th. www.nikkiandmissy.com, episode 3. Get money, secure your bag, sis. What else we got for the people? That's it.
I think that's it for now, girl. I mean, we got cousin. We've got some other stuff, but it's on
some stuff. Yeah, we got to keep it hush. Of course, we're always rooting for everybody Black. So we got a couple
forever
women entrepreneurs who we're going to highlight this Thursday as well. We want you to tap in. Tap in. Tap in.
I wasn't even prepared for this, but let me shout out. I got on my Betty Boo.
Your Betty Boo.
By Makeup by Sparkle. My line sister, Makeup by Sparkle.
Okay. I need a lipstick look.
And then I got on my Black in HRT. If you're in human resources and you are a person of color, you might want to join Black in HR. Highly recommend. Shout out to Prathan Powell, the founder of Black in HR. We are a national group of Black professionals in human resources, and you can find him at therealblackinhr.com. Wasn't even prepared to do that, but shout out Prathan. And Prathan is, listen, we've shouting out all the Greeks too, because Prathan's a new.
Yes.
So shout out Prathan.
Right. My brother from another mother, Kirk Brown, says HR reps are his bestest friends. You better keep us in your pocket. Listen, when you Black in the workplace, is 3 people, 3 kinds of people you want to be friends with in the workplace: HR, IT, and the custodial staff. You always got to have them on tap. You got to be good to your HR folks. You got to be good to your IT people. You got to be good to the people that take care of the facilities and make sure it's nice and neat to you. So you always want to keep those. So yes, keep us as your bestest friend. My brother from another mother, Kirk Brown. We're going to highlight you too coming up soon, bro. We ain't forgot about you. So we know you doing your thing, Kirk Brown, with his Rabbit Got a Gun gear. His brand. Ain't no fun when a rabbit got a gun. So we got you coming in an upcoming episode. We're highlighting you as well too, brother. We're rooting for everybody Black. So most definitely we will have you on. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Episode 3. We just wanted to touch base. Y'all ain't forgot about us, have you? We didn't want y'all to forget about us. So we just wanted to jump on, let you know to look out for us on episode 3. Secure your bag, sis. Get your money. Get your money.
All right, cousins.
See y'all next time. We'll check in with you later.
Hey, yeah. Ladies coming to the scene with the knowledge that's it. Spitting nothing but the facts and it's about to be lit. See, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah. Sit back and take a listen, cause they're teaching the course. They share a passion and a talent, a human resource. Say, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah. Empowering ladies with the voice, and it's about to be fire. Did I forget to mention that they're both from GI? Let me hear you say, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah.